Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about more farming theory. In Hudden Cup 5, we of course discussed the other day Vasco da Gama could potentially be Hera. It looks pretty set that Vasco da Gama is Hera based on the gameplay as well. And the other player we discussed was Slim the Grim, who could potentially be Vinchester. These players had particular patterns that they use, especially in ladder games, and we're seeing a little bit of it in the tournament too. So the question is there going to be more players that are in the tournament that we're going to be able to spot? Now, farm data, I'm not going to tell you it's the best data. There is a little bit of guessing game going on, but that's part of the spirit of the tournament. We're looking for some patterns, and we're going to try and compile all the data so we can make better decisions based on the farms. Now, as we can see, the players are evacuating on the map evacuation. If you did not see the first video, guys, I'm going to suggest you evacuate this video, go watch the first one, it'll fill you in with a little bit, and then come back to this one and you can watch this one too. Now, I must stress, guys, please do not base all of your decisions just based on farms. The supporting evidence is there to be used in compilation with everything else. Tomorrow, hopefully, going to be releasing my full cheat sheet, and I'll be justifying everything then. Okay, guys, so the first player I want to talk about today is Gajam. Gajam is now into the semi-finals. In the first series, the thing that struck me about Gajam is generally it has his accuracy in placing this first farm. Now, as I've stated before, this first farm in this place is the most common. It's where most people will try and place it. But that doesn't mean to say that everyone does. And Gaja does this with incredible accuracy. This was the Cumin 2TC game. You can see that the farm got missed on the second TC, but it's there on the first. It's there in the second game. It was also there on the third. And I think the fourth is over here. Yeah. Still over in the same spot. Now you can see the similar kind of thing for Greg. Also in this spot here. And then in the second series for Gaja, had this first game where NBL lamed them. Right at the beginning, lost 2 boars, didn't get the accuracy there. But in the other games, goes back to their favorite spot, getting it there, back to the accuracy. So the big question is, who can accurately place their farms like this quite a bit? Now the funny thing is, when I went to scrape through some VODs of ACCM, the first game I went into was just like the Cumins game. It was an RF game, he was playing on flank, he had Cumins, and he trushed with Cumins and boomed with them. What was the first game here? It was the Cumins Trush on bypass. So it was a little bit of a light bulb moment. You're like, okay, he definitely knows what he's doing. So if anyone's got any question marks about ACCM doing this Cumins thing, ACCM knows how to do it. And he was caught doing it a few days later. Now, when you look at ACCM's rank games, he is extremely consistent, guys, at putting his farms in this spot. Here's 3 games here, all did it. 3 more, also the exact same thing. Another one there. Another one. And then I had some other screenshots sent by someone else. There was only a couple more games where he missed. So he puts one in the bottom left here, up in the top right, but then he's back on it. Same spot. Same spot. Same spot. And there's of course there's going to be some variance for some reasons why players are going to place farms in different spots, depending on what's going on else in the game. But I think there's a good chance that Nikov could be right here about the ACCM beating Tato 4-0, and the ACCM could be in the semi-finals. For the moment, I am fully behind Gajamada as a CCM. We're going to find out on Sunday. Now, as I was just showing you the screenshots from the Gaja versus Greg series, where we're like, paradox, but Greg's making the same farms. Yes, we have went and checked also Tato farms, and it feels like these just aren't Tato farms. He's a little bit more random when he does place them at times. Now, there is going to be similarities between players, 100%. But it's not always about finding similarities. Sometimes you have to be able to find out how players don't place farms, or would they do this, and then you can rule people out. It's the same thing when it comes to looking for gameplay. You think, oh, can someone do this, or someone can do them not? That way you can scrub people off the list. Now, the next one I want to talk about is Jad Vio. And I'm not going to lie, guys, Jad Vio might be a little bit more of a confirmation bias. I'm looking to confirm my theory of who this player could potentially be. Now, it seems to be that a lot of people maybe think Jad Vio is potentially Heart, and then I had to go and look at Heart's farms and then try and confirm if that's going to be the case or not. Jad Vio is someone that does place his farm in the most common spot. You can see here in the red, placing it there. Auto, placing it on the left-hand side for Auto, bottom side. Very strange farms. I think we know who Auto is at this point, so trust me, guys. This tracks for MBL2. But back to Jad Vio. Yep, first farm in the most common spot and there. So very, very accurate, just like Gadget, to be honest. But the gameplay doesn't match up. Now, if we go to Heart, Heart is very accurate when it comes to placing his first farm in that spot here. You can see here, there. I think there was one game where he did place it down the bottom. Yep. Another one on the right-hand side. There again. And he has a very neat pattern as the game goes on. No gaps there. So I think Heart matching up as Jad Vio makes a lot of sense. Now, you might think, okay, but he's got the exact same placement as Gadget, so why is he not Gadget? The gameplay doesn't match there. So that's when we can diverge and say, okay, these are different players. Here is a problematic player. This is one that I'm not entirely sure about. Now, it's Emperor Sigismund. You can see Sigismund here. It's only 5 games. It's not a huge sample size, but in 4 of them, all of the farms start on the bottom left or the left-hand side, pretty much. And this is rare, guys. It doesn't happen all that much, actually. You can see 4 of them here on the left-hand side, and then 1 back to the most common spot. My theory for Siggy is it's Yo. As I was going through Yo games, I was only seeing this a couple of times. You can see it's here in the bottom left, but he's getting it in the most common spot most of the time. So it does leave me with some concerns on whether if Yo is Siggy. But there's certain parts of the gameplay I just cannot get past, and the drafts. I'll reveal it pretty soon. I need to make a call on this. I was told that apparently the farms on the left hand side, he does do it for additional TCs more from people that have watched his videos. Now this is the last one. This is just a few games of Gangji and the qualifiers. You can see farms on the left hand side here, quite common in his first few. Again in another game, and another game here, another one, and also goes back to like a common spot here. Now as I was going through the Robert games, the Robert Guiscard, did I say Robert? Robert Guiscard. His farms are quite commonly on the left-hand side, and then sometimes goes to the right-hand side. This was on the bypass game, I believe. He did go for a farm up here, but then get back again to the left-hand side. The left-hand side thing is kind of rare, guys, so I think it is a bit of a tell for some players. I think the gameplay matches for Robert, for Gangji, and I'm willing to take a bet that Robert is Gangji. Now, with that being said, we might have to entertain the fact that I just mentioned how Siggy's farms are. I just looked at Ganji's farms. Now, there is a bit of a track there between Gangji and Robert, but also potentially Siggy. Should Gangji be Emperor Sigismund as well? This is where it gets a little bit confusing, and you really need to think about the gameplay, where that person could be them. Now, Sigismund was a little bit wacky. And if I don't put Yo there, I'm then struggling to put Yo somewhere else. So it's really strange. You need to like, if you end up changing one thing, it has a whole domino effect where you're gonna literally changing many more players. This whole thing is a massive puzzle. Likely when you put in 2 or 3 pieces, more are gonna keep falling into place. This is my theory. I need to stick to my guns in this. Once you've kind of put one player into one place, typically a lot of the time you need to stick to it, because then it's going to be more difficult to change. Anyway, big video tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed this one. Catch you on the next one.